Hello, it is FMC. I'm Jeremy. That is SP3. It is Tuesday, April 30th. SP3. It was a up and down night. Up for me, down for you. I want to send my condolences to the Los Angeles Lakers after what happened last night. I'm sorry that it ended that way. I know that is not how you expected it to end. I mean, maybe you did after they got the Nuggets in the first round, but to start the season, that was not how you expected it to end. How are you doing after last night's game?
People tend to, not know about me is that I come to terms on things very early. So, if a relationship is going bad, I know it's going bad like a month before the breakup. And this one, I knew it was over once Jamal Murray hit that game winner in game 2. Because I was like, that was our best chance to make it a competitive series. Even if we win game 2 and it's 1-1, Nuggets are 90% going to win. They're 90% still going to win the series. But at least could have been competitive. It at least could have been 2-2 going into last night. But because we lost game 2, winning game 4 did not do anything for me except, at least I can say we didn't get swept. At least there's that. Look at our consolation prize that we got here. Gentleman's sweep. They put gentlemen in front of the sweep. So it's not technically a sweep. They were being gentlemen and gave us one at home. They gave us one night to sleep pretty. LeBron was able to go home to his family, a winner for once in these damn playoffs, facing the Nuggets the past 2 years. But I accepted that we lost after game 2. I'm not going to get put on a big show this time like I did last year because, I'm kind of numb to it now. I was kind of numb to it after game 2 and that game winner. And then last night, another game winner from Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray is officially the Lakers killer. He is officially that. 2 game winners in the same series to just put us away. And there was nothing we can do about it. And it was another game. I think we led at halftime in every game.
Yeah.
In the series. So this is not like a demoralizing gentleman sweep. Trust me, I've told you, I've been a lifelong Laker fan. You want to talk about demoralizing gentleman sweep? I'll take you. Exhibit A, the 2004 NBA Finals when we lost to Detroit Pistons, Rasheed Wallace and Rip Hale. That was a demoralizing gentleman sweep. This was more of a gentleman sweep of, they're just better than us. We can never put this away. We can be up by 20. We can be up with 2 minutes to go. We can be hitting the shots that we're supposed to hit, but it does not matter. They will find a way to beat us. They are just better than us. We accepted that. It's not demoralizing, but it is a acceptance type of gentleman sweep.
I'm not trying to use these numbers to be mean. The Lakers led in the 5 games for 69% of the games. Before game 5, they led in 73% of the game. Through the first 4 games, they led for 73% of those 4 games. I apologize. This is not me trying to be mean. I'm putting it out there to show how truly absurd this series was. Because if you had told me the Thunder, for example, the Thunder led in 75% of the first 3 games. They were up 3-0 and they led 75% of those games. The Lakers led in 73% of the first 4 games and they were down 3-1. It's truly, truly absurd how the Nuggets every single game, the fourth quarter, it was just whether the Lakers got tired, whether they got out coached. It's definitely the latter.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot. It's definitely being
the Nuggets just made the comeback. They staged the comeback, and then they would down the stretch out execute. We saw it all last season in the playoffs when the 2 teams met in the conference finals. We saw it this season. I mean, look, I watched one of the Lakers Nuggets game with you, partially watched because we started watching, the Lakers were up, then we did karaoke, and when we checked the score, the Lakers had lost.
Yeah, it was like the playoffs. It's like playoffs, regular season. It's the same thing. Like we can have a lead against them, but they just figure out a way to beat us. They are just better than us. They have the pieces. They have the guys that make shots in clutch moments. Like Michael Porter Jr. is another Lakers killer. Jokic is Jokic. He's Jokic against everybody. But like Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray play like freaking superstars against the Lakers down the stretch. It seems like he's getting wide open for threes down the stretch, Michael Porter Jr. And then Jamal Murray can just beat anyone off the dribble or with a pick and roll, and it's a wrap. And then the offensive rebounds down the stretch were just ridiculous. That was the reason that we blew that down the stretch last night. That was the reason. Those are two clean offensive rebounds with Jokic one play, and then the next play it was Aaron Gordon, and I was like, okay, we're gonna lose this one. Like that's it. I was like, I just gave it up. I was hopeful. We were up by one with like 2 minutes to go. I was like, oh, you got Austin Reeves off the dribble hitting threes. I was like, all right, we're in the flow. Maybe we could steal this one. Maybe they'll beat us in game 6. I don't know. Maybe we could stretch it that far, but no. Next offensive rebound, I was like, yeah, we lost this one.
Game 2, where LeBron blocks Murray or steals it off the pass, gets the dunk, Lakers go up 3. Jokic tries the foul baiting 3, which was a terrible idea. And that's the one where Gordon saves it, gets it to Porter, and he hits the game tying 3. That was one where, like, even last night, Jokic had so many plays that were very not typical of him. He played great all series, but last night I don't think he was that good. His stat line, of course, looks good, but
No,
I don't think he was that good.
I would actually give it up to because like Anthony Davis down the stretch, even though he was dude,
He
like
was
we would have walking our 2 stars would have walking wounded down the stretch of this game. Like he gets hurt with the shoulder on the Porter play, and he's walking like this. But he was playing great defense on Jokic. Anytime he was on Jokic, he was playing good defense. It was anytime they switch and they had Rui on him that Jokic scored down the stretch. But like when even with one arm, AD was playing good defense on Jokic, and I was very proud of him. I was very, even though down the second half, he did his usual thing where he didn't really score, he didn't really look for his shot at all. But I understand with the how hurt he was in that game, and then getting another injury to the shoulder, but still playing defense down the stretch. I give it up to AD.
He was definitely hurt the shoulder. I think he took like one shot in the fourth quarter and he left it short. Like Reeves was hitting shots. LeBron was gonna be LeBron. I like to downplay Anthony Davis because you like to overplay Anthony Davis.
I have in the past, yes.
He was very good this series. Like he faded in the fourth. He did. Every single game, he faded in the fourth. It is what it is with him. I still have my reservations of him as like a top superstar player. But when it comes to Davis and when it comes, LeBron's still at that high level. I don't think the team around them was too terrible. I can't buy health as an excuse when most of the top players played for most of the season and then the series. Again, if your season was coming down to Gabe Vincent being healthy, there's more things going wrong with that team. Darvin Ham. I know you've been off the Darvin Ham bandwagon. I don't know if there was a bandwagon. I know you put a lot of blame into Darvin Ham. I don't know if you read I don't want to call it a hit piece, but if you read the article, I love how these articles come out like 2 seconds after these teams get
they
eliminated.
lose. Yeah.
We're going to talk about the Suns here in a second because you want to talk about disappointing.
Oh, man, I read that one. I didn't read the Lakers one. The
Lakers one, I read it this morning. A lot of blame on Darvin Ham, and probably rightfully so. It seems like whether he lost the locker room, whether it was scheming, whether it was coaching, whatever it might be, he wasn't the right guy for this. I don't know if you saw the tweet. Somebody showed like Darvin Ham highlights, and somebody quote tweeted it, and it's like all his plays are like him being more athletic than everybody. That doesn't make for a good coach. I need my coach. His highlights are nothing but setting screens, beating his man baseline. That's a good coach right there. If you're just gonna out athlete everyone, you're not gonna make a good coach. You gotta have someone who has all the X's and O's down. It's probably time to move on from Darvin Ham. I don't know who you go with in place of him. I thought Vogel was a good coach, still is a good coach. The roster didn't mesh with Vogel. Can you want to talk about rosters not meshing? Phoenix and Vogel was not a mesh. Probably move on. Probably time to move on from Darvin Ham.
Yeah,
and then definitely. LeBron's got his player option. He can stay if Bronny gets drafted there. Maybe he goes elsewhere. I don't know. LeBron was, of course, non-committal. I'm sure he'll take his time and everything. I think LeBron stays. I think they retool the roster as they should. I don't think Trae Young is the answer. I don't think you should want that.
I think I don't know how it's gonna be possible. Honestly, I can't even tell you. But I've heard rumblings of Kevin Durant.
I mean, you'd have to trade Russell, Reeves, basically everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah. I don't think
it's basically you're basically getting KD and then you're rebuilding the roster from there.
I don't think this is the solution.
No, I don't think it's
in 2024.
Either. Me either.
I don't think a big three. We just saw it with the Suns. And granted, LeBron, Davis, and Durant is better than Durant, Booker, and Beal. I don't think a big three is.
I don't think a
viable.
I don't think an old big three works. It's got to be a young big three, and then you could build around it, and maybe that team can make it to the NBA Finals. I don't think they can even win the championship with that type of team. But like, I don't think that's the answer. I really think that they kind of got to get. I think that they should keep Reeves. I think they probably gonna have to keep AD because of his contract. And hopefully LeBron stays, and then it's all about getting the right role players and the right coach that can coach these players, and getting another big to go alongside Anthony Davis. Like the offensive like I'm saying, I'm making a big deal about last night, but it's something that happened all season to us. It's key offensive rebounds because there's switches and AD goes out to defend the shooter, and then the big man is down low, and these guys can't box out and get a rebound if Anthony Davis is not down there. And when we won a championship, when we've been most successful as a team with Anthony Davis, he's had another center by him. I think that is the key, is getting a center who can give us quality minutes, give us maybe 25, 30 minutes a game at that center spot to go next to Anthony Davis.
I think they need a center. I think they need a smart secondary ball handler, and D'Angelo Russell's
a defensive point guard who can handle the ball, because that's another thing that hurt us this series, is that D'Angelo Russell can't guard anybody.
He can't guard anybody, and like no knock on his talent, because he's obviously a very talented player. I'm kind of basing this off of what LeBron has said when it comes to just reading the game and feeling the game. He mentions Rajon Rondo on the 2020 team, and Rondo, like, not a good shooter or anything, but Rondo's going to play smart. He's not going to play careless.
Well, Rondo shot the best he ever shot because he was getting wide open threes.
But Russell plays a little careless. Like, who'd be great for the Lakers? I don't know how much he has left to give, but I'm talking mid-level guys, because right now it's about all the money they have to spend. Like, if Kyle Lowry wanted to come to the Lakers, Kyle Lowry's not like, he is what he is at this point of his career. Kyle Lowry isn't really going to hurt you too much. Like, he's still giving the Sixers good minutes right now. He's what he is at this point. Not a superstar level player, but he's a guy who has a good feel for the game. He's going to grift. He's going to draw some fouls and everything. He's going to do Kyle Lowry things, but he's going to play smart. And that's the kind of guys the Lakers need around LeBron, assuming he stays. But yeah, I don't think if their big hope is to put Trae Young in there, that feels like a splashy Lakers move because, hey, we're the Lakers. Let's go make a big move and not a actual forward thinking move. I don't know if it's quite as bad as the Westbrook deal because Westbrook and
No,
LeBron
I
was
I would
never a
say
fit.
it's more akin to the Gary Payton Karl Malone move. Even though Trae Young is not old, but it's one of those type of Laker moves. The off season, make the big move that everybody talks about. They can make a big show of it, and then it probably doesn't pay off.
Like you want to talk about putting defensive pressure on Anthony Davis with Russell
Yeah,
as the point of attack defender. You put Trae Young as the point of attack defender, it's even more pressure on Davis. And Trae Young's a better player than D'Angelo Russell, but that's not a guy you need around LeBron. Like, and again, I don't think this big three with big superstars works. It worked. Miami with the Heatles got 2 out of 4 titles. We're also talking peak of his powers, LeBron, a very good Dwayne Wade, like still a prime Dwayne Wade, and a Chris Bosh who fit and accepted his role.
I
Other
got a
than
name. I
that,
got a name for you for a coach that just hit me.
okay.
I don't know if he's even allowed, but Ime Udoka.
With Houston, he just signed a big deal with Houston.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
yeah, that's right, that's right, that's right.
I don't feel like he's going
Yeah,
anywhere. Yeah. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't know who the coach should be. I don't know if it's a veteran guy, if it's I don't know.
it's got to be an X's and O's guy. It can't be someone like
But it
Darvin Ham who basically was running plays of LeBron. You do this, Anthony. AD, you
what
over
about
here.
Budenholzer? He's not really X's and O's, but it's
He's a
also got to be
defensive
somebody
guy.
who can. It's also got to be somebody who can like has some respect
Yes,
because if you're bringing in like a first year head coach a first year head coach with a LeBron James team is very difficult because there's
we
an
just seen
expectation.
that with Darvin
Yeah,
Ham.
right. There's an expectation with the LeBron James team. They're expected to compete for a title.
Yeah,
That's just what it is. And like putting a first year head coach who's not used to that in that fire immediately is tough. It's a tough deal. That's why it feels like it does need to be a veteran guy. Like I don't know if you want to dust off Scott Brooks and make him the head
mm,
coach.
mm. No, I don't like the sound of
Not
that
X's
one.
and O's. Not X's and
Definitely
O's.
not
That's
X
for
and O.
sure.
I mean, I'm just gonna put it out there. Either JJ Redick or
I was gonna
Becky
say
Hammon.
Reddick. Becky Hammon. I was gonna say Reddick. I don't know about Becky Hammon. I mean, I think she'd be good, but again, putting her in front of Los Angeles with those expectations, that's a
That is
lot.
true.
And she's not gonna be judged fairly. One, first year head coach. Two, be honest about that. She's a woman. They're like we've never
But I'm
seen that.
saying LeBron feels like the type who would freaking would give her respect, and it would cause the whole league to give her respect.
He does until he doesn't. He does feel like that type of person until they lose like 7 out of 10 and then he makes
True.
some offhanded comment about we're disorganized and it doesn't look good. Like he's a little too in his feelings and passive aggressive for me to think that's going to be a smooth relationship the entire time. It's just who LeBron is, like
It's true.
it's just who he is. He's gonna at some point he's gonna make a comment, and he might not intentionally mean it to be one way, but it's gonna be dissected, and she's gonna have to deal with. She have to deal with the LA spotlight, and that's a lot to and the LeBron spotlight. That's a lot for a first year head coach who is also a female. Like, I don't wish that upon her. I don't. I just don't. And maybe Pop is like, I'm done in San Antonio. I got like 2 more good years, and then let me just coach LeBron. What's Coach
Yeah,
K doing I think Coach K will come
bro, my
back.
Coach K idea from last week. I said that last week. Coach K, come on, give me Coach K. Okay, we got our candidates for the Laker position: Coach K, Budenholzer, JJ Redick, and if Pop decides he wants to win a championship before he calls it quits.
I don't know what they're gonna do. It definitely doesn't seem like it's gonna be old Darvin Ham anymore, but we shall see what they
Hopefully,
where
we'll
they
be
end up
talking
going.
about the Lakers firing Darvin Ham next week. Sorry, Darvin.
Wow.
I hope
Wow.
you get another job. I hope you get another job very, very soon.
I mean, he'll probably have to take an assistant's job. I don't know if he's going to be jumping back into a head coaching job.
But yeah, I want him to have a job. I just don't want him to have this one.
Fair play to the Nuggets.
Not this one.
Oh, go ahead.
Nuggets played amazing. Hats off to their big three and all their role players who just play so well, like defensively or offensively. They just seem like in a great flow, and they seem like they're in a great position to defend their championship. And in the next round, they are facing the Timberwolves.
We'll talk about the Timberwolves.
Who looked really good.
The Timberwolves did look really good. The Phoenix Suns, though.
You talked about rosters. Like
yeah.
we very quickly went over the things that the Lakers like need to get better next year. I think that we got to take time to talk about the Phoenix Suns. Like, and oh man, it feels like they gotta just say, okay, this didn't work, and just demolish the whole thing.
I thought the Suns would be a lot better. I might have even picked them to go to the finals. I look like an idiot.
I thought they were 1 seed, so I look like an idiot too.
I thought they were going to be a lot better. And look, they made it to the playoffs as a 6 seed. They not that they scared anybody as a 6 seed, but they beat the Timberwolves in this. I think they beat them in every game.
Timberwolves in the regular
season. Yeah, they beat them in a kind of important game for the Timberwolves in the final day of the season, because the Timberwolves could have potentially had the 1 seed had things worked out for them. It was a pretty important game for the Timberwolves. And then in the playoffs, they looked like they'd never played a game with each other. This wasn't even like, it was definitely a tactical thing. This felt like just an effort thing for the team, in that Durant didn't give too much effort. Booker didn't give too much effort. Bradley Beal may as well not have played.
He looked like he was about to cry on the sidelines.
The injury to Grayson Allen didn't help, because he was a connective player for them, and him going down in game 1 definitely hurt them. But the rest of the team, I had my concerns about Nurkic, especially in the playoffs, and all those concerns came true in the playoffs with him. The team couldn't outscore their problems. They almost did in game 4, but they still lost that one. The Timberwolves just systematically destroyed them. They had no answer for Anthony Edwards. Even in like game 2, when Edwards didn't play well, they had no answer for anybody else. Their defense was just, it wasn't good most of the season, and then it really showed up in the playoffs. Giving that roster to Frank Vogel, a defensive-minded coach, was a bad fit, because you just shouldn't have a defensive coach when your entire roster is built on offense. Just play to your strengths. Put D'Antoni in there. Let him try to just score 150 each game, win 150 to 149 if you got to. But it was ill-constructed roster. And I know people are going to point to, Bradley Beal was the issue. They shouldn't have traded for him. That was a bad move. Why did they think after the playoffs last year, adding more offense was the answer? I'll continue to defend it by saying this. I don't know what you were getting for Chris Paul. Like, they traded Chris Paul, Landry Shamet, and like a garbage first or a second, and got Bradley Beal. They got pennies on the dollar for Bradley Beal. I think that's a move you make. Where they went wrong was the DeAndre Ayton deal. That was the deal where they needed a true point guard and a defensive-minded center who wasn't completely cooked like Nurkic. That's where I think they went wrong, is the DeAndre Ayton trade. They had the wrong pieces in mind for that deal. I think Bradley Beal, based on what you gave up for him, was fine. DeAndre Ayton, you should have tried to construct the roster better.
That is fair. That is fair because they definitely needed a point guard to go along with their three wings that were so score heavy, but a point guard that could just give off the ball and give them the ball in the right spots. And they just didn't have that. Having the Devin Booker experiment at point guard, it did not work out. That's why that's why it probably should have had D'Antoni, because D'Antoni has done that before, taking a 2 guard and making him into a point guard. That would have made sense. When you said D'Antoni, I was like, yeah, that's the perfect person they need to get now. Because they have these guys locked up for 150 million next year. It's going to be hard to move any of these guys, even if it seems like Durant wants out after that hit piece where it said like he was never comfortable with his spot and he felt like he was standing in a corner all season. And
That
I
dude's
mean,
never
this
happy.
series, he was kind of standing in the corner.
He's never happy though. He could have 50 shots a game and he would be like, "Oh, can't win with these cats." He's never happy. When was the last time Kevin Durant was actually happy? He got Nash fired in
It was
Brooklyn.
Golden State. It was Golden State. He should have
It
never
was the
left Golden
first
State.
year. It was the first year. He wasn't happy the final year in Golden State.
Oh well, no.
Yeah. So it was like
No,
the
he got
first year.
after it was after the fight with Draymond that season. Even the second season, he was fine.
The second season, I think he was okay. Yeah, the third year, all right, so we're going back to 2017, 18 was the last time he was happy. That's a lot of time,
Yeah,
SP3.
it's been like 6 years since he's been happy.
Yeah.
He
He got
decided
multiple
once he got
coaches.
into the fight with Draymond, he's like, "Damn it, can't be happy here. I gotta leave." And then he started
Kevin Durant.
talking to Kyrie. It was like, "Yo, let's go." He was like, "Yo, Kyrie, let's go to the Knicks." He was like, and Kyrie was like, "No, let's go to Brooklyn." And he was like, "All right, let's do it." And they do that, and yeah, he hasn't been happy since.
Kevin Durant gets to pick his teammates. He gets to pick his team. He gets to pick his coach. And for some reason, he's never happy despite having complete control over all of this. He just wants to hoop. He just wants to hoop, but then he meddles in all of the hoops. If he really just wanted to hoop, he wouldn't worry about this kind of stuff. It would just go wherever he was sent to, and he would just play basketball. He doesn't just want to hoop, though. He wants to hoop with the guys and with the coach that he wants to hoop with. And then when those guys aren't, he realizes, oh, maybe this isn't who I want. He wants to move on and go elsewhere.
So I mean, LeBron can do it. Why can't KD?
Results? I'm not trying to be that funny with it. It truly is results. I actually think LeBron at least understands what he wants in a team. LeBron at least understands that. And I think general managers, they should understand what LeBron wants. They should understand what works with LeBron. Sometimes, GMs don't make the best moves, but I think LeBron actually does understand what he wants in a team. I don't think Kevin Durant knows what he wants, and that's why he moves so often. That's why he's played with all these teammates. That's why he plays with all these different coaches, and that makes it very difficult for owners and general managers to try to put pieces around them because his mind changes every single day. Durant wants to play with true hoopers. Oh, yeah, let him play with Kyrie. He's a true hooper just like me. I want James Harden. We go back to our OKC days. Oh, an offensive-minded coach. Oh, Steve Nash. Oh, the Nash isn't working. I only want to go to Phoenix because I want to play with a true hooper like Devin Booker, a team that made it to the conference finals.
They made it to the finals.
They did make it to the finals. I don't think Kevin Durant knows what he actually wants. So that's why he's not happy. He's not happy no matter where he goes. Now he's talking great about OKC. It seems like he wants to go to OKC. Is he willing to come off the bench? Like, I said that jokingly, but I also mean it.
I know you mean it.
He's not. One, I don't think.
You think having KD would break up y'all chemistry and flow?
I don't know about breaking up our chemistry. Look, we're in the second round.
Yeah.
We're not worried about what Kevin Durant wants.
Exactly.
We're worried about what's in front of us. It depends on how the second round goes, obviously, but I'm not in a rush to be like, yeah, let's trade. I'll tell you this.
You're gonna have to wait another week because I think this is going 7 with Clippers and Mavs.
Good. I'm not trading Shea. I'm not trading Dub. I'm not trading Chet. Those three 100% off the table. If Giddey is the best player we're giving up, obviously first round picks would be involved. Okay. But if we make it, let's say for argument's sake, we make it to game 7 of the conference finals and we lose to the Nuggets. I'm not in a rush to break up this team to add Kevin Durant, who is on the downside of his career, still owed a lot of money, and doesn't give us flexibility moving forward. I'm just not in a rush to break up that team. So I don't know what Kevin Durant wants. I'm not. If he wants to take a cheap deal and come back, and we don't have to give up any places and all this stuff, then fine by me. Sure. Again, is he willing to come off the bench in that case? But I don't think this guy's ever really going to be happy, and so I'm not. We're a basketball team, not a therapy session. You know, that's how I look at it.
Fair.
I don't have much desire for Kevin Durant. Fuck Kevin Durant, in fact.
I feel like I've heard this before.
I don't know what they're going to do with Bradley Beal. They can't really do anything with Bradley Beal. He's got a no trade clause. Like, somebody might end up trading for him just because general managers are stupid. And I'm like, we can fix him. Devin Booker, I wouldn't really be in a rush to trade Devin Booker.
Oh, no. That's the guy you keep out of this whole thing.
So if you're not going to trade Booker, if you're not going to trade Durant, you can't trade Beal. What are you doing?
You got to retool. You got to retool around these three now.
With no money available and no tradable contracts. It's a difficult task. This was the new owner syndrome here. You know, Ishbia came in and was like, we can get Kevin Durant, we can get Bradley Beal. Let's go.
Even though they were perfectly fine before.
They were. And look, I understand you got to try to be light years. Chris Paul was aging. I get it. I understand that. So you want to go out and do what you can. Mikal Bridges was a very good piece for that team. Cam Thomas, a good piece for that team. They traded it because they saw star in Kevin Durant. Look, there's a reason Kevin Durant hasn't worked out anywhere he's gone.
For 2 franchise now. Not anywhere he's gone.
He worked in Golden State because they were well established.
But he worked. That's all that matters. He worked.
Harrison Barnes was working in Golden State.
Hey, it didn't work against the Cavs in 2016.
That was an established franchise that had already won a championship and who also had the greatest shooter, arguably the greatest point guard of all time on the team. And even by the end of that, he wasn't happy. I still think that says something that, okay, it worked and that they won 2 titles, but how did it end? That says something that it wasn't this like happy divorce.
He got hurt. He got hurt and he got into an argument with one of the players that
Right, 'cause
they have now put water under the bridge.
he wasn't happy. That dude's not happy anywhere he goes.
He needs to come back to Golden State. That's his true love. Come back to Golden State.
Sure, maybe. Sure. The team's a mess. Whatever. I don't care. Credit to the Minnesota Timberwolves, though. Anthony Edwards. I told you, start of the season.
Superstar.
I was super high on Anthony Edwards to start the season. He's done well. They managed to keep Gobert on the floor, not get schemed off. We'll see how that works against the Nuggets. The Nuggets did beat them in 5 games last season. It's a better Minnesota team. It's a slightly worse version of Denver. Not that they're bad, but it's slightly worse.
And I don't think that they're going to get as many easy baskets as they got against the Lakers against Minnesota. Minnesota's defense is much better. Minnesota seems to be able to execute a lot better, and they have someone in Anthony Edwards who can get the ball in the basket when it matters most in those clutch moments. So I think it's going to be a different series. I'll take the Timberwolves in 7.
Okay. I can't go against the Nuggets. I just can't.
I couldn't go for the Nuggets, so that's why I went with Timberwolves.
Fair. Minnesota, they're obviously a great team. Gobert is going to trouble Jokic. You can throw Edwards at Jamal Murray. You could throw Mike Conley's still holding up defensively.
Yeah,
Murray. They're gonna make Murray work. Murray didn't look great for most of the series. He obviously hit the big game winner.
Two big game winners.
Yeah. I meant game 2, as I was saying. He hasn't looked great in the series until last night. Last night was by far the best game he played in the series, and then he did hit the game winner last night as well. But game 2, when he hadn't been playing well, he still hit the game winner. I really like.
I want a whole new world type of conference finals. I want Timberwolves to win, so we either we can get a Mavs versus Timberwolves in conference finals, or we can get Oklahoma City versus Timberwolves, where it's oh man, the NBA is just like, we didn't expect this at the start of the season.
I'm not writing off the Clippers from beating the Mavericks. It's a 2-2 series. Clippers got home court. This is not an over thing. I thought Kawhi coming back was going to be good for the Clippers, but 50% of Kawhi ain't good. He was a detriment. And we saw that in games 2 and 3. He didn't play game 4. They won. And they nearly blew a 31-point lead, but they still won. They play a more hardened ball. Paul George plays a little bit freer, a little bit looser. And Kawhi is clearly not himself defensively. Luka was just cooking him. We don't see Kawhi get cooked like that. And he clearly just wasn't himself. So I probably wouldn't play Kawhi the rest of this series. And I think they got a better shot without him because he's a detriment out there. It's one thing if you can hold up and you're all right, 70%, and you can still be a contributor and not completely tank the team. 50% Kawhi was a detriment. That series, it's a 3-game series now, and the Clippers got home court. I don't think they're done by any stretch.
I got the Mavs in 6.
Okay. All right. You could be right. I mean, I don't think Luka's played great so far.
No, he hasn't.
And I feel like he's at some point he might be a little hobbled as well. But at some point, Luka's probably going to have a big game.
Kyrie's been the guy for them.
Kyrie's been fantastic. He's been fantastic. The layup over 3 guys that he finished was absolutely absurd. He's fantastic.
Kyrie, since I want to say since maybe the end of February, early March, it's been old Kyrie. It's 2018 Kyrie again.
He's great. He's possibly the greatest finisher I've ever seen. I don't know how many people are on his level, maybe Iverson, but even he's probably better than Iverson. He's fantastic. I don't know. I think it's going 7. Look, as a Thunder fan, I hope it goes 7. I
Oh, of
hope they
course.
continue to be physical, beat each other up a little bit, and wear each other down for my team.
That's
We
fair.
got the sweep. I people are gonna
You
people
guys
are
were
gonna
good.
crit people are gonna criticize of like, oh, they didn't have Zion. What do I always say, SP3? You play the team that's in front of you.
That's why you got the 1 seed for.
Yeah.
Why is anybody mad or gonna make that? No, you got the 1 seed to play the 8th seed. If that's the 8th seed that you played, you beat their ass and you move on. You beat their ass, you're moving on. Now you wait for the winner of the Mavs and the Clippers. I thought Shea looked good in the series. I think he averaged like
Mm,
27 points per game. Uh, Nah, I mean, he didn't shoot the ball too great, especially like the last game. I think he was what, like 8 for 20, 8 for 21
you
last game.
Shay's still expecting the regular season whistle, and nobody except for Embiid is getting the regular season whistle right now. And Shay's got to kind of push through that a little bit. I think he will. I think having a couple days off to reset will help him. Like, he's not playing bad or anything, but he's clearly just expecting, like, he's going into a lot of traffic. He's a good finisher. But he's not getting the calls that he got for most of the regular season. And so it's affecting him a little bit. I think it'll by now that he's used to it through the 4 games, I think things will change for him. He'll adjust. Everybody else is playing about what I expected. J-Dub's been great. Chet needs to shoot from 3 a little bit better, but defensively, he's been fantastic. Um, Josh Giddey has turned into friggin' prime Klay Thompson with his shooting. He's the reason we won last night.
Yeah.
He knocked down some big threes. Dort just Brandon Ingram may as well not have existed in the series. Dort was all over him, and Dort was hitting from 3. Like, you play who's in front of you. They didn't have Zion. It would have been a different series if they did have Zion. I'm not saying the Pelicans would have won. It would have been a different series. I'm not naive to that, but they didn't have him. And the 2 things I say, one I've already said, but you play who's in front of you. The other thing I always say is good teams should be good and beat these teams that they're supposed to beat. If we were frauds, which I've said all season they are, if we were frauds, this is where you maybe get taken to 7 games. And it's like, oh, see, they're not as strong as they're supposed to be. They're not that good. They're the weakest 1 seed. It's like, all right, we swept them.
Hey,
What do
y'all
you
did better than Boston. Boston dropped
right?
one to
Like,
Miami
what are you gonna say?
without Jimmy.
We swept them. Look, that was if Miami's gonna hit 25 threes or whatever it was, like no team's winning that game.
I was like, y'all played like y'all basically had Jimmy. Like y'all been playing the Boston Celtics the last couple of seasons in that game. But
the
I think
East,
that one's over in game
the
5.
East has been lame. Like the Sixers and Knicks have been a good series. They've been
Yeah.
slogged like rock fights.
Yo, that game 4 with the crowd from New York, basically.
I thought it was a home game for the Knicks, legitimately. Like I was like the Avs were playing at the same time, so like I had it on a second screen. I was paying attention to the Avs game, but like I would hear the crowd like cheer, and I would look down, and like it was after like a Brunson basket. I'm like, what the? I had to look at the center court logo so many times to see that it was a Sixers home game. I mean, Embiid called him out after the game, which whatever.
You can't be mad. They traveled. They came out. They supported. Can't be mad. They got the tickets. Oh, it should be our fan. No, fuck yeah, forget that. Just have the Philly get all the tickets for the Philly fans for game 5. How about that?
The Knicks could go to the conference finals.
Yeah,
I
I think so.
mean, they're gonna get.
I think they will. I mean, I like how Indiana has looked against Milwaukee, but I think the Knicks have looked better. Definitely. I hate saying that because I hate the Knicks.
East. The East has been disappointing. The injuries to the Bucks really kind of tanked things. I don't
Yeah.
have too much interest in a Boston versus Orlando or Cleveland series. I don't know who's gonna win that series. The games
That
haven't been
seems
good.
like that seems like that's gonna go 7, but it's not gonna be any good games.
It's 2-2, and like all the games have been blowouts. Like the games haven't been that good. We'll see. I don't.
They're playing like they're still like bottom feeder teams.
The Knicks could legitimately make the finals. I'm not
You think
kidding.
the Knicks can beat the Boston?
I don't. I picked
I
Boston
don't
to
think
win the
that. Yeah,
title, but like
yeah. I don't think they can beat Boston. I think if Boston ran into the wrong team, I think that the only team left in the playoffs that's currently constructed that could beat Boston in a 7-game series. Honestly, I'll take Indiana in the East. That's the only team I think that can beat them in a 7-game series.
mm,
I
I
think the Knicks can take them 7. I don't know if they can beat them 7, but I just think that Indiana, they just have this weird thing against them and the Bucks. Them and the Bucks, they have like a weird mental edge against them that I think that they could beat them in a 7-game series. But I don't think they're going to make it that far. I think the Knicks are going to beat Indiana.
Louis mentioned Boston might be without KP. Yeah, he came up lame last night's game. I don't know what the extent of the injury is. I think they said that. I think he even tweeted that he'll be fine.
Yeah.
He might miss next game. I don't know what it means for round 2. Indiana's good, but they would have given the Bucks a series regardless because they played them well all regular season. It's tough to judge them because they faced a Bucks team without, like, obviously,
Oh,
clearly their best player.
oh, the
And
Bucks. It feels like the Bucks have deteriorated throughout
yeah,
the series. Like each game has been less and less of the Bucks.
no, I like the Knicks. One, they got a coach who's actually won something. They just got guys who like are built for the playoffs. Like Brunson feels very built for Josh Hart. I told you, OG Anunoby. I told you, whoever traded for Anunoby was going to win the title.
23-3 with OG and Brunson playing.
They just got guys who are ready for this kind of basketball, and Boston is as good as they are, as good as they were all season. They still just got the Boston habits, and I don't know. That could show up big time again. Like it's kind of showed up a little bit against Miami, but Miami just doesn't have the firepower to do anything with it. The Knicks have that. I'm not writing off the Knicks for making the finals. I'm not.
No, I'm not telling you to. I just said I just don't think they can beat Boston in a 7-game series. Now, if Boston doesn't have KP, that's a different story.
And even with Porzingis, he could, in some instances, be a detriment. So I don't know. I'm not. I'm.
Well, we haven't seen that yet in the playoffs for them. So.
I'm not. I mean, they was kind of a detriment in that game 2 loss against Miami. I'm not writing off the Knicks in the finals. No, just keep it in mind. Keep it out there.
Well, there you go. I think we covered all the series. Look at that. Look at that. Look at us. Look at us. Covered all the series in one fell swoop.
Let me send this link to our pal Cher Delaware.
Yeah, we got challenge to talk about, and we got what is it? Mobile. Too hot to handle mobile to play.
Possibly some Too Hot to Handle mobile. I gotta get you guys watching the MILF Manor.
I will begin watching MILF Manor. Me and my missus have not taken the time yet, but we do plan on taking some time out this week to watch MILF Manor.
Hey, thanks, Pile Driver Finisher. We try to be informative sometimes.
Yeah. When we're not angry or upset about our own teams, try our best. Thankfully for me, I knew what was gonna happen, so yeah, I didn't see any sadness from me today. I think I'm in a fairly decent mood.
Pal Cher Delaware is here. Hello, Cher Delaware.
Hello.
Hi, Cher.
We do have a question from Remorse Betrayal. That's a basketball question. Sorry, Cher.
Oh, I get to answer it.
Oh, you want to answer? Okay, question for y'all. Would this have been different if Embiid was healthy this entire season? What do you think?
Well, obviously.
Good answer.
That is a
But
good
I mean,
answer.
I mean, but you can always play whataboutisms on everything because that's just because one person would be healthy the entire season doesn't mean someone else wouldn't have been the one that was injured. So
Butterfly effect.
when you like shitty teams like me, you have to stop doing whataboutism.
Yeah.
Butterfly Effect is a great movie.
It is. It's a really good movie.
I love that movie.
I have not seen it in so long.
Oh my god!
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you've never seen
it.
it.
Yeah.
No.
I was like, oh my god, no.
No, I saw it when it first came out, and that was what, like 20 years ago.
Oh my god, yeah, because I was a kid when I watched
it. I saw it on like VHS. That's how it was.
Oh my god! Speaking of VHS, so I have a storage unit, but it's not climate controlled, so like I can't put my old DVDs and stuff in there because those will melt. And I have a bunch of old VHS tapes, like all my old Mary-Kate and Ashley movies, old wrestling VHS tapes and stuff. So I have them all in totes in my garage. And the other day I pulled them out. I was looking for something, and my kids were like, "What are these boxes?" And I'm like, "What do you mean boxes?" And my oldest pulled it out. He's like, "This black thing. What is?" Like turning it around. I'm like, "This is what we watched movies on." I'm like, they barely even remember DVDs. Because that's never really been a thing since they've been alive. And the fact them with VHS tapes, I'm like, I'm gonna be sick. I need you to get away from me.
Or more special, I was saying from a series perspective, would this have been?
This would definitely. I think this would by the games, how the games have went. This probably would be 3-1 if Embiid was healthy.
Yes, but it also would be different if Embiid actually got suspended for the shit he's pulled. So, I mean,
no, we don't make grown athletes take accountability for their actions.
Exactly.
What are you talking about?
What are we doing?
What are you talking about?
Let's live in reality here, sir.
To slip into hockey talk, because we are getting closer to the cup now. I'm sure you saw that they pulled Matthews from the game because he had food poisoning.
Yes.
And there were people that are like, you got to tough it out. You have never had food poisoning. If you think that man can be out there skating.
Look, Michael Jordan, the flu game with potential food poisoning.
Yes. He was food poisoned by Utah. He was.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
He was. I mean, come on. You saw The Last Dance.
I've had mild cases of food poisoning before where it wasn't as bad. And I've had cases of food poisoning where I thought I was going to end up in the hospital because I could not do anything. And I'm like, I got to tell you guys, the last thing I want to do when I'm watching hockey is see some man shit himself or puke all over the ice. Imagine if he puked all over the ice out and somebody was like, just give him an IV. That's not going to stop him from throwing up. Like, you've never had food. And then there's the ones that are like, well, so-and-so played 3 games with his jaw wired shut. Yeah, he's a fucking idiot too. Like,
hockey players are insane when they play through in the playoffs.
Bad hit with your jaw wired shut, and you are never going to recover from that. Like, that's just, you're going to be done. I mean, hockey is intense enough without going out there injured and getting yourself more injured.
Look, we're not here to make excuses for the Maple Leafs. The Maple Leafs do what the Maple Leafs do every single season.
I want them to lose, but I was talking to somebody last night, and they were like, "So who do you want to win?" And I was like, "Neither of them. If they could both just forfeit, that would be great. I want neither of them to win. We are still cheering for the Canes. This is where we're at, and all the WAG jackets."
Canes should wrap it up. I think game 5's tonight, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, Canes should wrap it up tonight.
They should have wrapped it up in the last game.
But... They should have, but the Islanders they're good enough to get 1. But yeah, they should have.
To get 1.
Now the Canes got the Rangers, though. The Rangers are, no easy matchup out there. Boston, Florida is going to be fun. First round has been kind of whatever.
Not great,
Dallas and Vegas has been fun. That's at least 2-2. Every other series is 3-1 or over.
I just really want Vegas to lose everything. So
fair. I don't know who I want. First, the Avs need to take care of business. Just go ahead and beat the Jets and finish them off, and then because we get the winner of Dallas and Vegas. I don't really know who I want. Vegas is, last two champions showdown, the team that beat us a few years ago. But Dallas is also the best team in the West, so it's tough. Yeah. Tough either way.
I have been very disappointed in the Kings' performance.
They do this every year, though. They can't beat the Oilers. They can't beat the Oilers.
So Mr. Will Washington does not watch hockey. He doesn't get hockey. He doesn't understand.
He doesn't get basketball either.
That's true. But he messaged, I gotta read the message because I laughed out loud when I read this from him because he was talking about the Oilers Kings game. Okay. And he said, "Oh boy, now I understand why hockey is so boring." And he sent me a screenshot of the 3-1 Vancouver, Nashville, and then 3-1 Edmonton and the Kings. And he said, "This is why hockey is not my game. Y'all watch 2.5 hours go by and one person scores. Give these MFers some steroids."
He clearly didn't watch. He clearly did not watch the last game between Nashville and
He didn't
Vancouver.
watch any of the games.
Well, yes.
He just was checking.
But the last game, you could say this about basketball too, although a bunch of those series are 3-1. But the last game between Nashville and Vancouver.
At least I've seen one team score a lot.
The last game between Nashville and Vancouver, where Nashville was up by a goal in the final minute, they missed the empty net. They hit the post on the empty net, and then Vancouver tied it with like 10 seconds remaining, and then they won it 1 minute into overtime.
I told him, I was like, a 1-0 game is not super common either. Because that's usually they each score at least one. Like it's usually more competitive. But I said they also didn't score until like the third period in that game. Like nobody was scoring in that game. I finally went to bed because I'm like, what are we doing? Like I'm not going to say because that game didn't start till 9 my time.
Let me put Will Washington on blast real quickly when it comes to basketball as well.
Oh boy!
I said this after both the game ones. Maybe the Nuggets had won game 2. The Thunder were up 1-0. And I texted him. I was like, "You excited for OKC Denver conference finals?" And he gave me a shrug emoji. And he's like,
"That's the most Will response to something ever, too."
But you want to know the worst? You want to know the worst response besides the shrug emoji? He said, "I think the Pelicans are going to win."
How's it a jerk?
How's that going? How's that going for the Pelicans?
I think the Pelicans are gonna win.
He just knew. He knew that would get under your skin. He knew.
It didn't though, because here's the thing. We were texting on like a Tuesday. He's like, and he didn't say the Pelicans were gonna win the series. He's like, "I think the Pelicans are gonna win tonight." We're texting on Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
The game was on a Wednesday, and I was like, "Well, they don't play tonight, so good luck to them with that."
That was like when the Islanders Twitter page posted like, "Yeah, we'll see you all in North Carolina Monday," and I'm like, "Well, you won't see the Canes because the game's not till Tuesday."
Frantic. Ohio does. Columbus does. The Columbus Blue Jackets. They suck. I do not root for them. No. We got called out sort of on Twitter, Cher. Not us, and actually you as well, SP3.
What did I do?
Person, no way. Like it was a generalization comment. I just saw Cher respond to it of like people who root for teams outside of their state should not be allowed to be fans, or it was something like that. I saw you respond to it.
That guy blocked me.
Okay.
Because of my response. Because I said, as someone who lives in Southern Illinois is a long state. Okay. Why would I cheer for teams in Chicago that are 5 hours from me when Kansas City is 4 hours from me? St. Louis is about an hour and a half from me. Nashville's 4 hours from me. Like all of these other places are closer to me than Chicago. Why would I cheer for Chicago teams I got to make a whole freaking day and a half to go to a game, to go to Chicago. Like, that doesn't, because he said you should only cheer for teams in your own state. And people were like, what if I live in a state where we don't have teams? What am I supposed to do? Like,
it's a very dumb comment, because fandoms can be born in so many different ways. Like, I think rooting for your home state is kind of silly if it's just like, oh, I root for them because this is where I'm from. Like, all right,
I don't even like where I live. Why would I cheer for the teams here?
Like,
kind of a lame story, but okay.
Yeah, and like, it's not like I picked the Cardinals because they're so freaking great or something. Like, they're terrible, but I'm still a Cardinals fan. Same with the freaking Blues. Okay, Chiefs, I can give you Chiefs, but like,
you know, people move. People sometimes just follow who their parents like. Some people just go against who their parents like, just to be like, I'm not gonna root for their team.
That's me.
Some people get attached to a player, and it's like, all right, well, this is my team now because I like this player. I don't like people who like just root for a player. I think that's kind of lame. Like, I'm just gonna support any team LeBron plays for.
That gets a little difficult. I only did that in football with Peyton Manning, only because I hated the Indianapolis Colts for letting them go. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna just go to Denver.
Well, and the thing, like,
and when Peyton retired, I was like, I'm no longer a Denver Broncos fan.
You just don't like
too when it's like LeBron, because it's like, okay, so you picked the best player, and that's you're just a fan of wherever he plays. Like, okay, the Cardinals played the Mets the other day, and I was cheering for the Cardinals and for Harrison Bader on the Mets because he's my favorite baseball player. And he played for the Cardinals. But I'm not going to be like, I don't like you anymore because you don't play for the Cardinals because they traded you. You know, like, he's played for the Yankees since then. He plays for the Mets. My mom keeps calling me. He's played for the Mets now. And he got a home run. And I'm like, yeah, Cardinals suck. Like, I'm going to mute myself so I can answer this.
Okay. SP3, like, once Peyton Manning retired, you were just kind of out on football altogether. So I at least can respect that, of like, all right, Manning's gone, so forget it. I don't really care about any.
I was like, I don't have that love and care that I had for, and it would have been the same with basketball with Kobe, but I had felt Kobe was on the Los Angeles Lakers for so long that became my team. Like, I had people, like, I've said it, the story a million times. When Kobe passed away, people hit me up like I had lost a parent. Like if people were like, yo, I'm so sorry, I haven't talked to you since elementary school. Like, why are you hitting me? Oh, Kobe passed away. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm still broken up.
I don't understand rooting for like just a player, and then when they go team to team and everything, like, I still like certain players. I mean, like, I still root for Russell Westbrook. I'm not gonna root for Russell Westbrook over my own team.
Yeah.
So,
like, I'm a big fan of Stephen Curry. I'm a big Stephen Curry fan. But I'm not gonna root for Stephen Curry over the Lakers.
Yeah, I can't do it. I'm always gonna root for my team. I guess it just depends. Like, if you just always just feel the loyalty to that player and you never get attached to the team that they are on, like, fine. It's just weird.
Now I have friends that are strictly like LeBron fans, but like, they're not LeBron. Like, most of my friends that are like consider themselves LeBron fans and they follow LeBron from team to team to team, I always be like, oh, when did you become a LeBron fan? Oh, when he won like MVP, or farther in his career. And I'm like, dude, I was watching LeBron games when he was a junior in Lower Merion because I had free pay-per-view, and that was on pay-per-view, and I watched it. I knew about LeBron before you. You're not even a real LeBron fan. I remember being in freshman year of high school, and all my friends in New York and Cardinal Hayes High School telling me Carmelo Anthony going to be the #1 pick, and I'm like, have you seen LeBron James? Like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, you didn't even know about them when I was doing that. So, like, you're not a real LeBron fan. I've been shooting in the gym longer with LeBron, but I jumped off that bridge when some of y'all came up and started telling me LeBron's better than Kobe. And I'm like, not again. I was like, Tracy McGrady, Allen Iverson, Dwayne Wade, all these players that I've liked, y'all have made me dislike them because y'all told me Kobe was not better than them.
I don't get the the fandom just cheering for a singular person. I don't know. And I definitely don't get you can only cheer for the state, the team that you live in, the state.
I only root for one New York team, and that's the Yankees. And that doesn't even come from being from New York. It was because my dad took me to the games. Like, that was the first ever baseball stadium that I ever went to. I worked at the stadium. Like, I have a deep connection to the Yankees. That's why I like them. It's not because I'm from New York. If I was from New York, I would be a Giants fan. I would be a Jets fan. I would be a Mets fan. And I hate the Mets. I hate the Jets. I hate the Giants. I hate the Knicks. But the Knicks is because of my family are all Knicks fans. And I was like, I am not going to be a Knicks fan. You guys are annoying, and y'all always lose. Y'all are
and
annoying,
the Knicks
and
are,
y'all always lose.
The Knicks are going. They're doing well now.
Hey, that's the last thing I need is the Knicks to win the goddamn championship.
I don't think you gotta fully worry about that.
Never hear the end of it.
I would never.
We did have a kid.
I'm not gonna hear the end of it because they made it farther than the Lakers. So I'm already not gonna hear the end of it.
We did have a kid in high school who just like his parents were Cardinals fans. Most people where I live are Cardinals or Cubs fans. Like, that's just, and he randomly decided like freshman year, after always wearing Cardinals shirts and stuff, all of a sudden he was a Yankees fan. And we're like, where did this come from? Like, why are you all of a sudden a Yankees fan? Like, never been to New York, never been to a Yankees game, but he was a Yankees fan. And I'm like, okay, well. So everybody just made fun of him all the time because they're like, you literally just picked the Yankees just like out of a hat, didn't you? Like,
Austin Matthews was the first player on the ice for the Leafs this morning. So there you go.
Well,
seems like he'll play.
Got it all out of him.
Seems like he'll play tonight. All right, let's get into the challenge. All-Stars Season 4, Episode 4. SP3, I'm going to let you do the recap. 1, because you're better at it than me.
Thank you.
2, because they just announced The Rock is producing some WCW series, and I need to.
Hey, I remember they talked.
You always remember things that like I forgot before the episode was over. Like,
oh yeah,
bring up stuff, and I'm like, I forgot that happened.
Yeah, SP3, your memory is fantastic. Like, when it comes to a lot of things, but certainly when it comes to just like these episodes and stuff, because I don't remember half of what happened, and I'm even like looking.
Don't remember in what order.
Yeah, I'm even like looking at like the Wikipedia page and like challenge recaps by other people. Like, oh yeah, this happened, to try to recap. SP3 just can recall all of it.
So yeah, I'm probably going to try to do this off of memory. So I remember, so we started off the challenge from the last challenge, which was Keefla and Rachel winning and getting stars, and Rachel took Tina's star to give it to Veronica, and it was exactly the logic that we explained last week. You don't want to put all the target on everybody in your alliance, and it spreads things out. And she kept the promise to Cara because Cara didn't vote for her, so that was all good. Then we go to another room, and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna be pissed off when I have to recap this next week, because I was like, why is Cam listening to Nicole right now? And Nicole is bad mouthing Cara and being like, yeah, it was weird she didn't vote with you and stuff, and she's making deals with Rachel. And then we get a confessional from Cam who's like, I didn't think it was right when she didn't vote with me, and now she's making deals with Rachel that I'm not involved with. And it's just like, what are you talking about? Like, what who are you? Like,
she's really annoying me.
Like, I had to message out. I was like, I'm really not liking this person, whoever they are, with this Cam name. Like, I don't know. This is not the Cam that I became a huge fan of. Like, it's so weird. So from there in the house, we go to the challenge, which was a really dope challenge because it was a throwback to Inferno 3, where it was 4 or 5 people together on like a truck, and they were all tangled up on a rope, and they were tied to the rope, so they had to untangle themselves, all 5 people, to go across the this board that they have across the truck, and they put together a puzzle. And the puzzle is basically like the old, like the kids one, where you go through the maze and you have to do like this, but you have to go all along the truck, so everybody has to be involved until you make it to the end and you can pull the thing out, and then that's when the smoke goes off and you win. So like they had like a good squad. One squad was, I think, was Adam, Rachel, Keefla, and somebody else, because Adam was very cocky about it, like, oh man, we're gonna do great, like I can't believe they let us have this team together. And Rachel was like, don't jinx it, and Keefla was like, oh, they ain't no jinxing this. They lost. But the squad that won was the squad of, it was, I don't know who else was on the team, but I just remember the team captains were Cam and Laurel. Cam and Laurel really came together. I know Steve was on the team because Steve had a great confessional. Ryan was on the team as well.
Steve, Ryan, and Derek were on the team.
Steve, Ryan, and Derek. Because I remember Steve had the great confessional during the challenge where he was like, yeah, I'm just listening to Laurel and Cam. It's just like regular life. I'm listening to women. To women. Go do this, do that, do this. I was like, I know the feeling, sir. I know the feeling. Women tell me what to do. Hey, I listen. That's the best decision I ever made in my life. Listening to women. But yes. So they win the challenge. So they win, and then the middle group is everybody except for, I think, the whole Mean Girls Alliance is in the losing group. Kara's in the losing group, as well as, I believe, Ace is, a couple of the guys, but it's a girls' week this week. So the middle group, which is the group that is going to vote on this, is the group of Brandon, Jasmine, Tina, who else was there? Avery and Jay. That's the winning group that gets to choose who's going to go into the elimination. So once we're done with the challenge, that's when all the politicking starts, and people basically bring up the option of going big. And a lot of people want to go for Kara and Rachel because they both have stars. They're two of the best women, and but Kara does a confessional where she's like, oh man, I'm good though. I got Jay. She's like, I don't really know Avery. I don't really know Tina, but Brandon, Jasmine, and Jay is there. I'm good. She said that in the confessional. Spoiler alert, you were not good.
It was not good.
You were not good. Because of whom? Cam, because literally we see one scene and where they go out and they're partying, and Jasmine, who's a part of this middle group, says to Tina that she is thinking about putting up two of the Mean Girls against each other, Veronica and Rachel. They both have stars. They are two people that are not going to stick up for her, that are not going to vote in her favor, that wouldn't do it and haven't done it. So that's who she's going to go with. And Tina's like, oh, you're being manipulated by people and stuff. And I'm like, no, she's not. She's going by what he's saying. And then turn around, she was manipulated, because the next scene we see is Cam telling the whole group of them, oh, we need to put in Rachel and Kara. You got to go big or go home. You can't be, dude, it's like the third elimination. It's like it's not like this is like middle of the game, late in the game, when you do have to go big or go home. No, this is so early in the game, and you are putting so many people's games at risk with this move, and you're not even getting your hands dirty. That's why it was just like, oh, this is dirty. I don't like how this is going. Because you could tell Jasmine was convinced by that whole speech. She talks to Brandon and Jay about voting in Kara and Rachel now. In another scene where they're in a bedroom and they're talking about the vote, and Brandon's like, yeah, I already said I have Kara's back. She's my number one. He even had an earlier scene where he was like, oh yeah, me and Kara, we always been best friends. Like in the challenge, we met on Fresh Meat 2. We on the same season, and it can be a couple of years and we haven't seen each other, and it's like we miss no time with each other. We're that type of friends with one another. And then he's like also saying, oh, I did say whenever I got power, I would try to go big, and that is going big, so I should go with it. So he's being manipulated by all of this. The only person not manipulated is Jay. Jay's like, oh, I'm not going against Kara. He was like, I was like, that's a smart man. That's a smart man. I don't care what y'all tell me. I'm not going against Kara right now. Why would I try to ruin my game now? Exactly. Why isn't anyone else listening to him? So before the vote, I don't know what it is. I don't know if he has his ear on the ground or he's clairvoyant. Ace literally tells Kara, your friends are about to betray you. It's the funniest scene ever because Ace is like laying down on the couch and he's like, oh man, Rachel, Kara, I really love having you guys around. And I don't like how I just have this bad feeling. I just have this bad feeling right now. And I think that your friends are going to betray you. So she's like, Kara's like, I'll just ask him right now. I don't care. I'll just go ask him. So she goes to Brandon and Jay. And he says like, you know what's funny? Ace said a funny thing where he was like, I think that your friends are going to betray you and they're going to vote you in. And Brandon's like, oh, we haven't decided anything yet. We really don't know. And Jay does the conventional. He was like, I don't know why he's lying to her right now. Like he's already decided how this is going to go. So why are you even lying to her right now? So we go to the deliberation. So Brandon starts it off. He starts it off and he says Kara and Rachel. Then Avery says Kara and Rachel. Jay says Rachel and Veronica. Then we have, I believe, who else do we have here? I forget. Jasmine said Kara and Rachel. And then finally, it was like 3-3 for Rachel and Kara. It did not matter. Yeah. Tina could have went first and changed the whole vote. Changed everything around to help out her Mean Girls Alliance, to help Rachel out, but she insisted on everybody else voting before her. So she already, by the time she was able to vote, because she wanted to vote last, it was already over. But instead of doing, it was already over, it did not matter who she voted. She said, oh, I don't want to piss off anybody else, so I'll just go with the group. And I'll say my best friend, Rachel, and Kara.
This was so baffling to me. Okay, fine. You don't want to go first to try to swing things. Jasmine was probably still going to vote for Kara and Rachel because she wanted to make the big move. Okay, fine. Your vote didn't matter. Why say your best friend's name?
Yeah.
In this instance, just say somebody else. Everyone would have understood that. Just a weird decision by Tina.
Yes.
Very strange decision. Go ahead.
So weird, so goofy. So they bring out the names, they put the names. Kara's like reacted. She's like, "Oh my god, they did it! Rachel, they fucking did it! We're gonna put on a show for you!" And she's getting hyped. And then Jasmine, she's like, "Jazz, I have nothing to say to you. I defended you. Yes, she did. Just like one episode ago, she defended her, said that she wasn't gonna vote for her in a deliberation, and then she turned around and did this to her. But Jasmine's feeding into it and just causing more of an argument and everything. But Kara didn't really react until she sat down and Brandon was right there and she asked him, she was like, who did you vote for? And he was like, I voted for you. And she just went, she was like, nah, I gotta walk away. She was emotional. She started breaking down. And then Cam had to have a confessional, and she's like, oh, Kara's being emotional, putting on a show and all this. And I'm just like, this is supposed to be your friend?
Yeah.
Cam is so hurt that Kara did not go against Rachel the other episode, and she wouldn't say Rachel's name. Cam was just so offended by this. She's playing a strange game that I don't know if it's great. Because usually the vets, look, I admire that they want to try to take big shots and get people out of the game. Like, you got Kara and Rachel out the 4th week. That's a pretty, or you were going to get one of them out. That's a pretty big shot to take. I admire that. But they're going about it very oddly. Yes. And I don't know if it's the best strategy.
I think the thing is, Cam is so used to running everything when she plays the regular game with all the rookies. She can sway all of them to vote the way that she wants, and she's used to getting the rookies out early. But there aren't rookies on this, so it's you have to have a different strategy. It's a different game. Being mad at someone who's been on the challenge a lot longer than you have and has won a lot more than you have because she's not playing your game is weird. It's
also
weird.
And because you don't need it as a reason, it makes sense that you would want to get either Rachel or Cara out, but it does not make sense that your reason is the vote. The vote that you got, what you wanted.
It's also strange just because of how the game works, where you need a star. You almost want to have strong people on your side, because if they win, they might give you the star of like, hey, you looked out for me. Sure, let me give you this star here. Like, you're a good competitor. So it's weird. Unless you're going to go down there and you actually want to go down there yourself and beat a weak competitor. So, hey, let's leave as many weak competitors as we can. I guess that's one way to look at it. And maybe that's how she's looking at it. But then at some point, one, you're going to have to win another challenge. I mean, she won this one. You're going to have to win again, get yourself down there. Travis wasn't going to throw herself in there against Cara or Rachel. Or it's got to align to where the loser's bracket is you and a weak competitor, and then you can go down there and beat them. But you don't know if that's going to play out. Like, you just don't.
It doesn't seem like she's thinking of long term on any of the stuff that she's doing or getting upset about. And like, I saw Scott Yeager had posted, like, people always turn on people watching the show because of, whatever, like Olivia, everybody was against Olivia. And he's like, it feels like it's going to be Cam. And a lot of people were like, yeah, but this feels justified going against, because like Cam is playing a weird game and she's blaming everybody else for everything. Like, Cara doesn't have to vote with you. She doesn't have to do what you want. And overall, it's just been very strange. And the way that she, like you said, that's supposed to be her friend. And it's not just like, she's like, her game moves are pissing me off. Like, she's like personally going after her now. And I'm like, this is...
And Cara doesn't even know it yet.
Yes. And it's just weird to me because like, I am a very competitive person. So like, if it's us three in a competition, I'm not going to be like, oh, okay, well, I can't try because they're my friends. Like, no, you're still going to try to win. But I'm not going to be like talking shit. I might talk shit to you two, but I'm not going to talk shit about you two where you don't, you know what I mean? Like, it's very strange. And I've seen people be like, well, she just had a baby. Like, you can't blame that can't be the excuse for everything. Yeah. You can't say everything's hormones, everything's this, everything. Like, that can't be the excuse for everything. If she couldn't perform, she shouldn't have joined the show. Like, it's just very strange. And freaking voting in her best friend, Tina, I was just like, what are we even doing here? Like, I'm not a Tina fan, and I think that I've made that pretty clear. And I think that Tina plays a scared game because Tina knows that she can't physically compete with the other people. But like, what a stupid move. Like, I mean, if I found out that whether the vote, even if it did count, I would still be mad if someone that's supposed to be my best friend voted me in, like, and it didn't count. So why would you say her name? Like, you didn't have to say her name. Nobody expected you to say her name. That's the thing. Like, nobody would have been looking at you twice if you didn't say her name. So it was very stupid overall.
It's like, Tina does not like, and they literally told us, Rachel and Veronica, the whole episode, they kept saying in confessionals, she's not good at the politics game. She gets worse. It's worse. She makes things worse whenever she does try to play the politics game. And we saw it right there.
Yeah.
But we get all that. We get the big outbursts and Cara getting mad at Brandon and everybody reacting. Rachel's kind of just numb to it at this point.
Like, whatever. We gotta battle. Let's go.
So we have Cara Maria, 2-time challenge champion, multi-time finalist. We got Rachel, 2-time challenge champion. Two of the most physically intimidating women in challenge history. They played a beer drinking game.
They had to throw axes, ninja star axes, and hit squares. What confused me
I felt like I was watching highlights of the Challenge 39 again. I felt like every time the Challenge 39 had Cara or CT, they gave them the wrong type of elimination, and then they did this, and I was like, I'm gonna write a very firmly worded letter to the challenge. Stop doing this. Stop doing this nonsense.
What confused me is like, so there's this giant board. And again, they threw axes into, and you had to hit your opponent's picture. And if you hit your opponent's picture, what was it, twice, 3 times? That would be, they get eliminated. If you hit your own picture, that counts against you. And then there's like squares of like stand on one leg, take 5 steps forward, whatever it might be. But then there were just giant squares of like stars.
Yeah.
And I guess that counted as nothing.
Yeah, they kept doing even though they were getting it on there.
It feels like there was just so much wasted space on this board that you could have put other stuff on there. Like, I don't know. It
felt like they ran out of time creating the game, and they were like, "Oh, we got to fill this up." And they just put a bunch of like it was very weird.
But this is the elimination you do if it was Nicole versus Laurel. If it's like a side, big side
physical.
No, it's not. It can't be. Laurel would win. Laurel wins 100. This is a equalizer type of elimination. When it's 2 evenly matched as far as physicality or smart, which is both with Laurel. She's smarter and physically better than Nicole. You do something like this. When 2 people are evenly matched and physically intimidating, you put them in a physical elimination.
All I wanted was to see them in a physical elimination. Like I was like, oh, this is going to be good.
Okay, the reason I say Nicole Laurel should have been a physical thing, even though Laurel most likely would have dominated, the rivalry there. I don't want to see seeing a rivalry between these two.
No, I'm good. If they do something like a pole wrestle, it might turn into something sexual, and I don't want to see that from Nicole. I'm good. I don't want to.
There was that scene
again, and I didn't bring up that scene.
Yeah, that scene. Okay.
when literally, I wonder why Nicole is talking to Laurel. Isn't like Laurel won an elimination, and Nicole sees a shiny new thing, and she's like, "Oh, let me be nice to you now." And Laurel's talking about, "Oh, let's actually talk about things." And Nicole's like, not really giving her anything to go by. And then she reaches in the drawer and she makes that sexual. And it's just like, oh my god, like I do not want to see this. And then we get next week's preview is like, oh, we're gonna see it.
I didn't watch the next.
I know,
but yes. Yeah, they played this axe throwing game, and TJ at least had some hilarious reactions because they were missing the board, and they're like, "Look out!" Cara won. She was down, but she ended up winning. They built up that last throw. By the way, they're like, "All comes down to this. This is the moment." It's like, not really. Rachel's got another throw. It ain't like she's been hitting anything. One of the stars against Cara was because she hit her own target. So it's not like Rachel's been doing great at this game. It doesn't really come down to this. You're going to potentially have another opportunity here. The clock doesn't expire. This isn't for a game winner or anything. I thought she was going to miss. I was like, they built it up so much. Like she's going to end up like hitting, stand on one foot again. Whatever. I don't know how many gimmicks were up there. It didn't seem like a lot. Again, there's so much wasted space with those star that meant nothing. But yes, Cara did win, and then Rachel sadly departed. Would you like to recap who Cara decided to take the star to and from?
So I believe, Cara took Rachel's star.
It had to be Rachel's star.
Yeah, it had to be Rachel's star, and she could give it to anyone. So she thought about for a second Laurel, but then she thought about it twice smartly in realizing that if she puts it on another strong competitor, all they're going to try to do is if they're in the bottom or in the losing group, they're going to send them into elimination. So there'll be one less star holder for them to compete against in a final. So she said, no, I'm going to give it to the person who put me in this position. And since Jasmine had to open her mouth and feed into it, but I mean, Jasmine is smartly doing that because that's the only way she get camera time. But she smartly fed into it. And now she gets a star because of it. And she called it a Starget. She says, I'm going to put the target on you. Because now she has basically 2 weak competitors as shields. If people want to take the star and not have any ramifications that person's going to come back and take the star from you or take you out in an elimination, you take it from Veronica or Jasmine because it ain't going to be anyone.
Very, very smart. Because if I'm standing up there and I got 3 people, Kara's the last one I'm choosing. Yep. I don't want to go against her. So giving it to another weak person, very, very smart on her behalf. And I saw people being like, that was a bad decision. Not at all.
Cam's whole confessional. Oh my God, that's a horrible move. Like, why wouldn't she put it on?
Just because it's not her game, she thinks it's bad, and it's not. And I think that the way that Cam is playing is why I can guarantee she's not going to win. It's just bad.
I understood Cam's perspective in why wouldn't you give it to Laurel, because that's a good deed you have now done for Laurel and she potentially will have your back. Like, if I'm thinking about it from Cam's perspective, I see where she's coming from. I think it's the wrong perspective to have.
Yeah, it's a wrong perspective because even if like say Laurel goes down to the elimination and it's like she has to take a star from one person or she has to take a star from Cara, she's gonna take the star from Cara because I'll tell you, Laurel could beat Cara all day and every day in an elimination. I don't think she's gonna beat her in a final. I think that Laurel will think about that, or think about that Cara is probably her biggest competition when it comes to the females in a final.
Well, and the thing is too, we know Laurel. Laurel doesn't care. It's not going to be I owe you one now. Yeah. That's not how Laurel plays the game. So why would she have Laurel's back in a situation like that? When honestly, someone's going to choose to go in an elimination with Cara over Laurel. Like, you got to go with someone weaker than you. I just, and like you said, like, I get if Laurel was a different person thinking that way, but like, that's not who Laurel is. Laurel's not going to be like, oh, well, I gotta protect Cara now once because she did that. No, that's not how she sees things.
Yeah, I can get where why she would think that. I just don't think that's the right mindset to have for this game of, now I'm going to owe you a favor. And the other reason I think that is because Laurel's not the most level-headed person in the world when it comes to this stuff. But I do think, like, if Cara sat Laurel down and be like, listen, this is why I did this. I still have your back, but this is why I did not give you the star. I think Laurel will be like, okay, you know what? I get that. Again, Laurel probably not the person to actually understand. And that's why you don't give her the star in the first place, because even if you do give her the star, like you were saying, Cher, in SP3, she's not having anybody's back anyway. So it doesn't matter.
It's not happening. It's not happening for Laurel. I mean, that's the only person that she's going to have their back is Nicole. And that's even if they hate each other. She's still, because she's just like under her freaking spell. Like, her and Cara already don't like each other most of the time. So, like, why would I tempt fate to see if she's going to wake up on the right side of the bed one day? Like,
I think I want to get this clarified because your memories are probably better than mine. A man can give a female a star, right?
Yes.
Or am I okay?
Yes.
So you almost want to have like the opposite sex on your side a fair amount, because like Frantic World says, I don't trust you. None of them are playing a messy game. Like, I think all of them are playing kind of a messy game right now. But it is an individual game. The problem is it's an individual game, but most of the challenges are as a group, and then the voting is as a group. So even though it's individual, there's still a lot of group mentality.
Which is always hard because that's always, like, we've seen many seasons, Johnny Bananas being notorious for it, where he has an alliance with people that are on the other group competing. So he throws a challenge. He makes his whole team lose because he knows they're going to protect him. So having it being an individual game, but competing as groups and voting as groups makes it more difficult. It makes it a lot more complex in things because, like, you have to look out for yourself as number one, but then also it's like, well, I can't just look out for myself because I've got all of like those always make it a lot more complex. I like team challenges where you're on the same team the whole way through. That's why I like Battle of the Seasons, Battle of the X's, things like that. Like I always like those because like you're stuck with this person. You guys got to make it work. You got to get through to the end. And I always think that that's really good. Actually, this is a challenge conversation. I don't watch or listen to Zach's podcast, but I see clips of it all the time.
Yeah, I see clips of it.
And everyone says his podcast is really good. I just don't like Zach, so I don't want to support him. But that's like fair. He flies people out, pays to fly them out, and pays for their lodging and everything to come film with him in studio, which I think is cool because a lot of people would not do that, you know. Which, I mean, like, we all know Zach came from a wealthy family anyway. Like, he's a PE teacher. He's not making money to be doing that. But he had, the one that left the show. Help me out here. Janelle. On
yeah, I saw that clip.
Did you see where she was talking about how they were standby for Battle of the Seasons?
Oh, yes. Her, yes. Johnny, Tyler, and Paula.
Yes, they were standby for Battle of the Seasons, and they ended up not bringing them on. And Zach was like, that would have been terrifying. Like, going again, you guys would have won. It would have just been like, everybody else lay down. They're going to win this. And he was like, I think that's why they didn't bring you on was so that we could win. Like, I think they let you guys just be like, yeah, here's your standby check. You guys just go home. Because she was like, yeah, we were so excited about it. And he's like, that would have been awful. Like, we would have got our butts kicked. Just thinking about that team, like, that would have been insane. What a strong team that would have been.
That would have shook things up tremendously.
Well, and we can't do Battle of the Seasons anymore because we don't have seasons. We don't have shows, you know, so it's everybody's on
it should be Battle of the Shows.
Yeah.
But like, Big Brother, Real World, Road Rules.
Yeah. Everybody Survivor. From Road Rules is like in their 50s now. So
get Mark and Rachel and Darrell.
I know Mark's got to be in his 50s.
Veronica, Tina. See, we got a team. We got a Road Rules team.
God, that's a terrible team. What a bad
if they're playing drinking games and everything, they might be able to.
Maybe they can get Kendall to come back on.
No, get Shane. Get Shane on the Road Rules team. Get me Shane on the Road Rules team.
Kendall's still doing all of her yoga stuff and everything. I always see her post videos on Instagram. Like, she's in very good shape. She just, since she had to shave her head because of her illness, she just doesn't do anything anymore. But she's the best. She's like the nicest person ever. And those girls would be so mean to her.
All right, let's get a chapter into Too Hot to Handle. I'm grabbing mine.
Okay, I did not watch your show yesterday. Did you talk about MILF Manor?
I did. I mean, do you
and
want to?
How it is also DILF Manor.
Yes. Did you watch the first episode?
I watched part of it.
Okay.
I saw the pictures of the dads and sons that are on there.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
Should we ask Cher Delaware to rank the dads and sons?
Oh, I will. I'll pull them up.
Oh, God, no.
Gosh. All right, we might have to do this instead of Too Hot to Handle then. Okay.
Let me just, there's pictures of them. Let me just find them.
Hey, you're going to have to show your screen.
Well, you're going to have to pull it up.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Okay, hold on.
He said, show your work.
Show your work.
Hold on. You know, I want people to have the visual.
Listen,
so
it is difficult though because all of the sons are so young. They're like 21, 22. I'm gonna be 31 tomorrow.
I've pulled
Happy
up.
Birthday!
Thank you. My Taurus friend. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So we have Christopher. Did you know he's an MMA fighter who really likes to compete, and he's very competitive, and he's an MMA fighter, and his only love is fighting and MMA. He's never loved a woman.
Yeah,
He's never
if you
loved a
weren't
woman.
sure, he is an MMA fighter.
He is an MMA fighter. He loves to fight. He loves to compete. Never loved a woman. Does love fighting.
He's annoying. He has really pretty eyes though. So like he had that going for him.
Oh. So out of 10?
I'm gonna give him, balancing out how annoying he is and his appearance, he's gonna get a 7.
How about Michael?
His dad, 51 years old. I have issues with people named Michael because that's my dad's name, so it's like, but his dad is he's attractive. And he's very tall. God, he was like 6'6", 6'7". He's gonna get an 8. He gets better than Michael, or he gets better than Christopher because Christopher's annoying.
There we go. Dad wins that battle.
Dad.
Jacob and Ashley.
Oh, okay.
Jacob is British.
Yeah.
Bruv.
Ashley gets a 5. He just
Wow.
He looks like he's gonna fix my IT.
Was he the one on crutches? Who was on crutches? The dads weren't there for very long. Yes, Frantic World. So it's MILF Manor. There's 6 MILFs. There's 5 guys. But then at the end of the show, they bring in the dads of the guys. And now
they have to choose between them.
And the women are now choosing between the sons and the dads.
Yeah.
There's some I did watch the preview for what's up on this season. There's some uncomfortable scenes.
So the dad played professional rugby.
Okay.
And the son played like semi-professional rugby.
Okay.
But the dad only got divorced less than a year ago.
Oh.
So like that's a problem. Sorry, Ashley. That's why you get a 5. Jacob, the British accent is not, it ain't there. It just, he thinks that he's a gentleman only because he's British. And that's a problem. So he's going to get a 6.
All right.
Son wins?
Barely, yeah.
We have Joey and Anthony.
Listen,
Joey, I got to give credit to Ross Berman for this. Joey's a cocaine dealer.
I was gonna say he looks like Tony Khan if he watched too much Scarface as a kid.
So Joey is 21. His official job on the show is an events promoter. That's a cover for cocaine dealer.
He works the nightclub district. Oh, okay.
Joey thinks he's a ladies' man. Joey talks about how like all the women want him and they think that he's an athlete. No, nobody looks at you and thinks you're an athlete. Sorry. And like that he gets himself caught up in love triangles because so many people want him at once.
Joey is hilarious. And that he's sitting there, he's talking to these 2 women. I'm very bad with the names. But he's talking to the one lady who he ends up biting her butt in the hot tub. Oh, this is a real thing, SP3. Yes. They're chilling in the hot tub and he's like, you got a very biteable butt. Can I bite your butt? And he just flats out bite. He bites her butt. So he's talking to her. This is when they first meet everything. So he's talking to her and the wife is telling me her name is Christina. That sounds about right. He's talking to her and he's like, you got very pretty eyes. You're so beautiful. You have very pretty eyes. And Christina, they cut to like the confessional and she's like, he's so sweet. You know, he seems so mature. He's so nice. Then this other girl comes over, Barbie, who's the horniest of the bunch. Former stripper. That doesn't make her the horniest. She's the horniest because she's like, let's all make out and everything. But she's also a former stripper. So she comes over And Joey's like, oh, come sit on my lap. Come sit on my lap. So she sits on his lap. What does Joey tell her? You got very pretty eyes. You're so beautiful. You have very pretty eyes. Right in front of Christina, who is still naive to all of this. And it's like, Joey's so sweet. He's so genuine. He just said to you, you have pretty eyes. And then while you're still sitting there, he invites this girl over to sit on his lap so he can also tell her she has very pretty eyes.
He is an Italian stallion, let me tell you.
He's a coke dealer.
So he gets a 6 because I can't with the freaking, no. His dad owns an Italian restaurant, and for that alone, he gets a 10.
Wow.
Smart move.
I love me some authentic Italian food.
They don't look like father and son.
No, they do not. I'd say of all the sons, Miles is the most attractive. I don't know that means much though, because like they didn't get like super great people. He's better than Joey. Like,
well, I mean,
you didn't set the bar very high there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give him an 8.
Oh, okay.
But I gotta say, listen, I know that it was a thing, and like Ashley was a male's name, Stacy was a male's name. The show having women and men on it, I'm getting confused with the names.
Yes.
Like, because when I think of those names now, because people don't typically name their sons' names like that anymore, I'm like, oh, okay, that's a mom. No, those are the dads. So it is a little bothersome, but I mean, he was fine. He didn't offer a lot. I'll give him a 5 just for being there.
Damn.
And our last couple, Sam and Darren.
Oh, God.
I think Darren was the one on crutches.
Look at Sam's face. Like,
Sam is useless. He's kind of dorky. It feels like he doesn't understand what's going on. He's kind of aloof. I don't feel like any of the women really care for him. So I hope his dad has something to offer, because Sam ain't got much going on.
I think my favorite thing was in like the bio thing. It said Darren wanted to find somebody to grow old with. Darren, my guy, you're there. You've grown old.
Oh, that's the best part of this show, though. The women are like, I want to find someone who I can settle down with and a best friend and everything. Like, yeah, go to MILF Manor. That's the place where you meet that person.
Sam feels like his dad wanted to go on the show and was like, hey, come on. Sam like bragged that he'd lived on his own since he was 18. And I was like, okay. Like, I don't, all right. But he and then it was like, if I want a woman, I get her. Like, it doesn't matter if she already has a man. If I want her, I get her. And it's like, okay, here we are. So, yeah, they both get a 6 because they're not giving me anything. They're not offering a lot.
Hey, Dad, we got a 12 altogether.
Let me tell you about this show more, SP3. This challenge that they did for this week. So again, there's 6 women, 5 guys. So the women like picked a card to see who they got paired up with for the challenge, and then there was a host card. So they picked the host card. The horniest one, her name's Barbie. She got the host card, right?
Was she the stripper?
Yeah, Barbie's the stripper. Yes. There's another girl. I forget her.
Keeps describing her.
I forget her name. Her nickname is Sparkle, though. She's like, "Oh, my friends call me Sparkle." I'm like, "You're a stripper as well."
Nobody called you Sparkle. You are not a My Little Pony. No.
was like, I'm Sparkle. That's my name. Like, no one calls you that. But sure,
Everybody
that's your
calls me
stripper name.
that.
That's your stripper name. The wife is telling me her name is Jamie. I don't feel like that's true, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't think there's a Jamie on this show.
Oh
I don't feel like her name's Jamie. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't feel like there's a Jamie
I
on
don't
this
feel
show.
like that's true.
That's true.
So the challenge this week, SB3. They're in Canada. Sure. Why not? They're in Canada.
Okay.
The men are wearing Canadian flag Speedos. They are disrespecting the Canadian flag more than Shawn Michaels ever did on WWE television. All right. Shawn Michaels wishes.
More than Will Ospreay last year.
Yeah. These wrestlers wish they could disrespect the Canadian flag this much. Okay.
Don't give them ideas. They're going to be coming out to wrestle in them now.
What do they have to do? What do they have to do in their Canadian Speedos? They got maple syrup. Not just any maple syrup, though. MILF maple syrup. What the fuck does that mean? I don't know. Did they milk the titties of the MILF and maple syrup comes out? Not really sure. But it's MILF maple syrup. And they got to rub it all over each other. And then they scoop it into a big old honey jar. We've seen challenges like this.
Yeah, they did that in Battle of the X's.
Yeah, so it's not nothing we have ever seen or haven't seen before. This one, of course, a little bit different though, because they're all in Speedos. They're package tapping throughout. They're tongue kissing throughout. They're tonguing the maple syrup. The host, Barbie stripper, she is over here package tapping the guys. She's getting in on this. She's kissing the guys. She's not part of this challenge. She's the host. She's not part of this challenge at all, but she decides to get in on all the action. And you know what happens, SB3? There's a winner of this challenge. I don't remember who won. Doesn't really fucking matter, to be honest, because they don't really care about this stuff. Somebody wins this challenge. It's the MMA fighter and the other girl. I forget her name. I'm terrible with names. Anyway, the MMA fighter and the other girl wins. They win. It's like, oh, that's so great. And then they say, Barbie, because you did such a great job as the host, you also get a date. This shit's completely made up. They weren't going to give her a date. They were like, oh, this horny little bitch over here, she's over here package tapping in the middle of the challenge. She's over here making out with all the guys. Yeah, we're going to give her a date as well. They make it completely up.
It reminds me of the opening of Whose Line Is It Anyway? The game where the points are made, the game's made up and the points don't matter.
100%. It's completely made up. They saw Barbie going around and friggin' again feeling up the men.
She made a show of this more than anybody. She gets a date too.
They were like, you know what? You get a date. And they go on these dates. I forget who she picks. Again, doesn't really matter. But both of the guys were like, oh, yeah, I had my eyes set on Barbie from the very beginning. Everyone's loving Barbie because she wore like a green dress and like she's very enthusiastic. Again, the first thing she says to everybody is like, when are we going to start making out? So everyone loves Barbie. Everyone.
Come on, Barbie, let's go party.
You got Joey, who's out here biting asses in the hot tub on the first episode. Barbie also says coochie tingles. Never heard this term before, but got to give her a lot of credit. Coochie tingles is words that were uttered not once, at least twice on this show. Her coochie been tingling all during the milk maple syrup challenges and everything. That coochie just stays tingling. Gotta give her a lot of credit for the fact that she can get the coochie tingles this much. They've also got a room, SP3. This room is called the Rilfie. You know what the Rilfie stands for? Room I'd like to fuck in. They got a designated, in all these other shows.
It's called
Smush
Roofie?
Room. Smash Room. This is called
Rilfie.
the Rilfie. Rilfie.
Oh, Rilfie.
Yeah, Rilfie. Rilfi. Rilfie. Room I'd like to fuck in. They got this on this show. You go in there, apparently you just fucking
coochie tingles and Rilfies.
You got your coochie tingles, you got your Rilfies. With your DILFs and your MILFs and your MILF maple syrup. It's the most there is a scene. So I told you I watched the preview. I never watched these previews, but I had to watch this preview. There is a scene coming up on this season. Again, the dads are in here as well. They do a tantra yoga, tantra sex. They do like a tantra workshop, right? I think I'm saying that word correctly. They do this, right? I forgot who the woman was. I know the father-son pairing is Joey and his dad. Okay. They're doing this tantra workshop. They're in a very awkward position. I'm not going to call it a spit roast position. If you know what that means, more power to you. If you don't look it up, or do look it up. I don't know. Have your safe search
don't Google it. Don't do it.
They are in a. I don't want to say it's complete spit roast, but it's an awkward position. It's like a cowgirl roast. Okay, we'll call it that. Maybe I just made that up. Not sure. Cowgirl roast. That's what the father and son are with this woman, right? Okay. They showed this scene. What's the very next scene? Cut to Joey sitting on the couch. One of the girls is like, "Are you okay? Did you have a traumatic experience?" Joey, coke dealer, mind you, a coke dealer, a 21-year-old event promoting coke dealer is asked, "Did you just have a traumatic experiences?" And he says, "I think so. I think so." That's what's happening on this show. This whole thing is a traumatic experience, and it's the greatest show of all time. And I can't wait. I'm so glad it's back. This is all I needed in my
coochie
life.
Tingles. We got spit roast.
Traumatic experiences, everything. There's another twist coming. I don't know what it is, but they show another twist where like more people enter the house.
Frantic World, can I explain to you what means? Coochie Tingles? What am I explaining?
I'm hoping the other twist is they're bringing back people from the first season. Because I need Virgin Joey back here to talk with coke dealer Joey. I forgot her name, the horny one. I think her name's Christina too. I need what?
Or his mom, or are you talking about Charlene?
No. I think there's a Christine. She's the horny one. I mean, there's a lot of horny ones, but Christine.
They're going on a show called MILF Manor. They're all horny.
Charlene's like the Barbie. Kelly is her name. Kelly, not Christine. Kelly. That's Joey's mom. Yeah, I was right, Kelly. And of course, I gotta have my girl Charlene back on this show. I gotta know if Charlene's been getting the coochie tingles and when the show has not been filming. Right. I gotta bring her. I gotta know.
That's all for me this week.
Gotta know what's been going on with Charlene. That's MILF Manor, everybody.
Oh, what a time. What a time.
We'll continue to review MILF Manor. I don't know where SP3's gone. He's got Austin Reeves as his avatar. Okay, you good?
I'm here.
Okay. All right. I'm here. All right. Oh, the wife is messaging me. She was right. Her name's Jamie.
She sent me that picture too.
Oh my gosh. This woman.
She said, "I want to prove I'm right."
I commend her. I'm always trying to prove I'm right.
This woman. All right. We've already gone 2 hours. Maybe we'll play Too Hot to Handle next week. I don't know.
Yeah.
We have so much MILF Manor to talk about. So much challenge. So much basketball.
So much.
I do. I've apologized to SP3 and Cher. I want to apologize to viewers for last week and the way the show ended. I did not handle things well. And I apologize for robbing all of us of Too Hot to Handle because we had plenty of time to play. So that's my biggest apology is we didn't get to play Too Hot to Handle last week. But no, I'm sorry for yelling at SP3 in the manner that I did, for getting heated in the manner that I did, for making things awkward with Cher Delaware. Obviously, we're all fine. We're all here today. We're back on track, but it was not my best moment last week. And I apologize to everybody.
All apologies in return, sir, but we love you here, and we're happy. We're happy that we got to talk and laugh, and you got to tell us about MILF Manor with
Delaware's watching.
The mental images that I'm gonna have, and then I'm gonna have to watch it after you gave me the mental images and be like, "Oh, this is what he meant."
You've got to. By the way, so it comes on at 10 o'clock on TLC. So we actually caught like the last 8 minutes of 90 Day Fiance. I don't know who many of them are anymore. I see Andre. Andre's back on this season. It looks like.
I'm trying to think who.
Oh, he's the Russian dude. with the
Andres.
Yeah, him. I forget all these names. It looks like Big Ed's on the season. He's got like a new haircut and shit.
I think that's Happily Ever After, because I've been hearing about it, but I haven't watched it yet because me and my missus were trying to get through different 90 days because they put all of them on at one point and I was behind, so I have to recap and then I'll watch Happily Ever After and we will have the return of 90 days in 90 seconds.
Oh boy.
Louis, I don't think Charlene would be getting the coochie tingles because Jeezy was so fresh, so clean, and he was on his way to see Charlene. So I think she would have been taken care of. So I don't think it's the same, Charlene.
There we go.
Right. Do you want to plug anything, Cher Delaware?
I'm a little concerned that people have coochie tingles, if we're being perfectly honest here. Like, that sounds like you need to go to the doctor. But no, I don't think I have anything to plug.
Let us know in the chat if you've had coochie tingles. I feel like no women watch this show.
No, it's just me here.
Or if you've ever bitten an ass.
I've bitten an ass, I can say that. No, I don't think I have anything. So, Taurus season.
Rise up.
Thank you.
Rise up.
Bitten an ass.
I've bitten. I have bitten ass before. But yes, I'll be live again on YouTube in like 2 hours with Romeo to discuss last night's Monday Night Raw WWE draft. It got better, or did it? I don't know. We'll talk about it.
All right. Keep biting asses. Everybody has all the biteable butts out there.
Go to the doctor if your coochie tingles. Go
bite some butts. If you're getting coochie tingles, I feel like that means there's good things about to happen.
They got ointments for that.
Does not use your teeth count. Isn't that sucking ass then? If you're not
wrestling coochie tingling leader in podcast.
What are we doing?
What do we ever do on this show?
Oh my god, that most recent. The colon cancer.
Shout out to you, Louis.
Having more hits than colon cancer. Wow.
Shout out to you, Louis.
What a line. Louis be killing it. He'd be killing the game.
I mean, we had that last season. We had people willing to eat some ass last season. So
this feels like the Faye Jackson series where she's just asking people if they eat booty.
There's another wrestling show that's happening on the different channel right now. Bless them. They got to talk about that dumb sport. We're talking about the real things. Coochie tingles and eating ass. Bye, everybody.
What was the room called?
The room I'd like to fuck in.